if you hadn't won, crazy world, I know. If you hadn't won, would you have still retired?
This year? That's an incredible question. I actually haven't even thought about that. It's so funny because I went into that year without even, like, every year, and my sister one year looked at me in the Olympics. She's like, are you ever going to believe you're going to win? Because it'd be the day before the Olympia.
Time 3 or 4 or 5?
It was like in between prejudging and night show when I just dominated the show. She's like, so you feel good about it? I was like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'll win. She's like, are you ever going to fucking believe that you're going to win? Like, and I didn't. And then the last year I went into that prep and I didn't even I had those moments of, do I love this? Do I not? And I worked my way back to a point of like, this is the last time, and I enjoyed it. And I loved the experience. But the whole time it was just like, am I going to do it? Or am I going to win, or am I going to not compete? That was what was in my brain. I didn't even think. And it was finally that point where I just believed in myself, where I knew, like, I know what to do. I know what I'm capable of. And like, I'm going to come in and win if I do it. So I never even thought about it. But
that is a champion mentality, right? Finally,
I finally got it. And then I leave.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I like to believe that I would have retired.
I would have stuck to my principles.
Regardless.
Yeah.
And looking back now, I can't imagine being in a prep right now, you know? And like I said, it's very different because my mind did just like release all these focuses where it opened up the ability to realize all these things that I had been holding that might have been creating tension in my life. So I'm in a state right now where I can't imagine trying to lock in and focus on being so selfish at something with a pregnant wife, 16-month-year-old daughter, life-changing like it is. But my ego would love to tell you that, hell yeah, man, I would have retired regardless. I wouldn't have even cared if I lost.
Well, it's a luxury belief because you won. You can say whatever you want. You can't go back and run the experiment again.
Very true.
You know Mark Cavendish? He's a cyclist in the Tour de France, British guy from Manchester, I think. 37, 38 now, so older in the Tour, and he's a sprinter as well. And the Tour de France Unchained, if people need a good documentary, so it's Drive to Survive, Formula One, but for the Tour de France. They've done it for 3 years now. And in the second year, he just needs one stage win to have the title of the most stage wins in Tour de France history. So I guess it must be a particular hack that the sprinters have got, that because they work for the finish, they actually end up with more stage wins than the general classification, the yellow jersey. And he is going for it. And he's saying, this is my final year. I just need one stage win. And his wife's there and the kids are there. And he's sort of working himself up to it. And he has a couple of near misses. And then he has a big crash at the sprint finish. And he's devastated. Oh, no, I think he breaks his collarbone in maybe a pilot partway through, which is even less glorious. And the whole thing was, this was going to be the final year. He was going to win. And then season 3 comes along. And he's made this big song and dance. He has this sort of tearful announcement about how he's going to leave the sport behind. And I've given my life to this sport. And he raced for England, for Great Britain, all this stuff. And then it comes back, and it's him and his wife. And his wife basically says, "I know that you're not going to rest. I know that you're not going to be satisfied." She's like, "What does it matter? You said that you were going to leave. You're not satisfied. So run it back. Do it again." And he does, and he gets his victory, and he sort of goes out on his shield. But the opposite of that is John Jones. John Jones, it seems, wanted to vacate the title rather than lose it to Tom Aspinall, who is real aggressive fighter, also from Manchester. Everyone's from Manchester. And it just seems like he was so concerned about his legacy being marred with the final fight up against this young, very heavy, very talented, natural heavyweight, as opposed to John, who's maybe not quite so in his prime. And you have someone who, in both cases, have got the same mentality, which is, my final performance cannot be a loss. I either need to go back and do it again in order to be able to achieve victory, or I need to bow out on my own terms as opposed to stop. And people remember the way that you left the party, so to speak, in that way. Like the footnote or the final song, the encore of your entire career is so amazing. Shame about how his final competition went, like when he got beaten by whatever. Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that would be a difficult question to answer.
Yeah. No, it's funny too. Hormozy sent me a text going in the last prep, and he had like suspicions that I was going to retire that year. And he said something, I can't even remember exactly what he said about me going and winning or something. And I threw like a little flick back at him because we think very differently. And I like respect how like what he does is incredible. This is like the beautiful champion mentality. Like you can think however you want, you just have to win. And I was like, well, what if I lost? What about the lesson that I could learn in the loss? And he posted on Instagram the next day being like, I got a text from someone last night. It made me mad. He went off and I commented. I was like, that was me. But no, like genuinely, like when I was talking about my most important values right now, if I trust and believe in myself to live up to those values, what I would have been able to do was to use that loss, something out of my control, to take what is in my control, how I handle it, to learn something and try and apply it to be the best version of myself and to stick to my values. And in trusting myself, I would have still made the decision that I know I need to step away. Because before I won, before I had the chance of losing, I had made the decision why I was walking away, what was most important to me.
And it wasn't to do with...
And it wasn't about if I win, I'll lose, or if I lose, it was unrelated to all that stuff. It was, well, what's best for me and my life and my family is to step away right now. And it's for the love, because I love the sport, I'm walking away so I don't put myself into a position where I'll resent it. Because people who go too long, then they'll stop away and they'll look back, their whole career was resentment. Either if it leads to health issues or injuries or on a loss or something, it taints it in your own mind. And it loses that like kind of beautiful like lie that you
pristine.
have on it.
Yes. Yeah, you're able to
you can look
cave
back,
yourself into...
What's that with the rose-colored glasses? You can look back and be like, it was perfect, you know? And I have the privilege now to be like, my career was perfect. Wish it was far from.
Yeah.
But
well, imagine if it had been the other way and your only second place victory had been the final one.
Yeah. Why I was second before, but
yes,
it'd be my third second.
This episode is brought to you by Momentous. Trust really is everything when it comes to supplements. A lot of brands may say that they're top quality, but very few can actually prove it, which is why I partnered with Momentous. They make the highest quality supplements on the planet, and I've fallen in love with their Whey Isolate protein powder. It's grass-fed. It is a super convenient way to get more protein into your diet, lean muscle mass, muscle growth, recovery, all that stuff. But most of all, it just tastes phenomenal. Most clean proteins do not taste good, and this is better than anything else. It's also NSF and Informed Sports certified, meaning that even Olympic athletes can use it, and it is guaranteed to be free of banned substances. Best of all, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can buy it completely risk-free, use it every single day. How many servings is in this? 25 servings in this. Use it every single day for a month. If you don't like it, they'll just give you your money back. That's how confident they are that you'll love it. Plus, they ship internationally. And right now, you can get 35% off your first subscription and that 30-day money-back guarantee by going to the link in the description below, or heading to livemomentous.com/modernwisdom using the code modernwisdom at checkout. That's 35% off livemomentous.com/modernwisdom and modernwisdom at checkout. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ooh, a tasty morsel of a conversation for you there. Well, full meal available right here. Go on. Press it.